preferred company. It's about home health care.
Preferred's a friend you can depend on. Home health care with feeling. We're a part of the family, the way it ought to be. I preferred home health care. You're in preferred company.
Here is your radio host, Joel Markel, president and founder of Preferred Home Healthcare and Nursing Services, and co-host Marianne Levy.
We had this discussion in the office yesterday as to whether or not you can't not do something for Mother's Day. In other words, if you are somebody's child or you are somebody's grandchild, you can't not do something for Mother's Day. But the point is, in your heart, do you feel like it's a real holiday or do you feel like it's a Hallmark holiday?
Well, it's definitely a Hallmark holiday, okay? I'm sure if my grandkids or my daughter was to forget Mother's Day and not even make an attempt to even say Happy Mother's Day, I'd feel totally upset because
Insulted.
Insulted.
Hurt.
That's the word.
Hurt.
Absolutely.
Insulted.
Hurt. Yes. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. And I always say that. I don't like to receive. I like to give. So I don't need anything, but just acknowledge the fact that you know that it's Mother's Day.
Well, let me ask you this. When people say to you just a card, do they mean it? Or if somebody just to get... I sound like I'm speaking Italian. If somebody just were to give you a card,
right,
would you feel slighted?
No, absolutely
you
not. Nope. If there was sentiment in that card, not just an obligatory, here's your Mother's Day card, Happy Mother's Day, whatever, then maybe. But if there was sentiment behind it, if I could actually see that you put thought into purchasing that particular card, then I would not be. No, I would not mind just a card. Absolutely not.
All right, I'm going to jump all over the place here, but I have to
What else
tell
is
you.
new?
No, not what else is new. I'm staying on Mother's Day.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What else is new will be for off the air.
Okay.
What I was going to say is being in home health care, Mother's Day becomes a very big holiday.
Okay.
Because we have adult children who visit their mothers. Sometimes they'll come from across the country, Marianne,
right,
where they haven't seen them since Christmas, or maybe even longer than that. So this becomes, as I'm sure you can imagine, adult children take Mother's Day very seriously when their parent are in the care of preferred home health care. You
right,
can understand that, right?
Right.
Okay. So it becomes a holiday that's even... there was never as much to do about Mother's Day. We never had as much hoopla about Mother's Day in our lives. But suddenly when I got into home health care, it became almost the holiday of the year.
Right. I think I asked you this once before, and it's not to insult. Do you think sometimes a lot of that is a guilt thing because they're not there for mom? And they know that the mom has to be taken care of by somebody else?
That could be.
In some cases.
Maybe it's more pronounced on Mother's Day.
Right.
But if it's there, it's there every day. It's just maybe that it's, it's more pronounced on the actual day.
I want to welcome our guests here, Joel, today. Sue Sedivec, who is the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Ocean County, and Jen Barna, who we've known for years. She came from elsewhere and now is with Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Ocean County. So Joel and I would love to welcome you here.
Thank you. Good to be back.
And thank you for having
being
us.
with us, ladies.
All right. Now, you're here for what reason? You're here for a couple reasons today, right?
Yes, we are. Just to explain to listeners what Big Brothers Big Sisters of Ocean County is all about and to promote some fundraising that we have.
Okay. Now, we're talking Mother's Day. one of your sisters, and they call them little, that could actually be like a mother to them, right? So, you could have some clients or some kids who actually celebrate their sisters as a Mother's Day.
Some of our kids do that. Most of our kids are raised from single-parent homes. So we have basically a mom who's raising all of the kids.
Okay.
Sometimes we have kids where their grandparents or grandmothers are raising the children, or a foster mother. So a shout out to all of our caregivers, our moms, our aunts, our grandmothers, to thank them for giving themselves to our kids.
How many kids do you actually have?
Right now we service in Ocean County between 450 and 500 in many different capacities. We also have over 300 kids waiting to be matched with a mentor.
Oh my! How many mentors do you have?
We have right now, and all of our mentors are volunteers. We have about 400 mentors.
Okay, so almost one for each child.
Right. We have our community-based program, which is where we match a big brother or sister to a little.
Right.
And they help the kids. They work with them. We have goals. We're an evidence-based program, so we're able to give the kids tools that they need to succeed in life. We have school-based mentoring programs where we're in Seaside Heights Elementary School, Central Regional, and we also have site-based programs where we provide services on site, for example, like Dottie's House.
Right.
So we have different ways that we can provide the mentoring programs, and so we have mentors to fit all of those needs.
And we are always looking for mentors to help, especially men.
More boys than girls is what you're saying that need big brothers.
Yes.
Let me ask Sue this question. Sue, with other young people who are in need of mentors out there, is there such thing as any one person mentoring more than one child?
We usually don't do that, but upon occasion we have, especially if maybe the child that the one mentor is having is aging out. And so they'll, goes to 18, and so we might start him with another little. I'll tell you.
You'll start the little with another little.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
so what we try to do is, we're still a young organization, and we're starting to see the turnabout coming, with our littles, and so many of our littles right now are becoming bigs, and so before they reach that age of maturity, we might match them up with their current big brother with a little so that they can start to give back as well, because they knew how important a mentor was in their life.
What's the youngest? You're saying 18 is the oldest. What is the youngest little you have?
5.
5. Okay. All right.
Sue, I wanted to ask you this. The process, maybe I've jumped ahead of the conversation, but what allows somebody to become a mentor? We hear all of these frightening stories of teachers, licensed people who should not be around children. What is the process that the organization goes through to make sure that the children that you take on with such great hearts are protected?
Well, that's a really good question, Joel, because so many people do ask us that. And we're a part of a national organization, and so we have several pieces of child safety and protection that we have. With our mentors, number one, they all have to go through criminal background checks. Every background check you could think of, fingerprinting. It's called a multi-tier assessment of the mentor. We interview them, and in our staff, and that's why we have professional staff, because they need to understand what's that person's personality, his behaviors. Are there any red flags that are shown? Is there a problem that could be happening? We look at our references. We ask for references from every one of our mentors, at least 3, and we really talk to those references and see if that person would be a good mentor. We then we provide training, and also we go and do a home visit into their home as well.
Being a mentor, does that make you a great adventure dad, where on Sunday you take the kid and you just treat the kid to a full day of fun? What does mentoring mean?
So mentoring, and that's another really good question. No, we don't want that great adventure dad at
The
all.
more you come here, the more you realize that all my questions are great.
I like it. With our mentors are a positive role model to our kids. They're a special friend. They're someone who guides them. And with each one of our matches, we carefully match a child with a mentor who has similar characteristics, likes, maybe they have special qualities. And then we develop goals for that child. Maybe that child needs a little bit more work on his self-esteem or school grades. And so we match that mentor with that special area with the child. We ask our mentors, please do not spend money on the kids. Children need to learn relationships. They need to learn to trust. And it's in order to grow to be an adult. Do things with them like take them to the park, talk to them, do homework with them. Things where they get to share their feelings, help them work through problems, ask them how they feel. So many people think kids don't have feelings, and boy, our kids have such feelings, and they need to talk about them. And maybe they need some tools to help work through some problems. So that's how we start our relationships.
Marianne and I typically don't keep guests beyond one break, but I cannot let the two of you go. So I'm going to suggest that we take a break now. I've got a lot more questions for you.
So do I. And I also want to hear about their fundraisers, Joel. So, it's got to keep them going.
Absolutely. So why don't we just do this? We'll take a short break, and we'll be back with more Preferred Company right after these messages.
Back to Preferred Company with your hosts, Joel Markel and Marianne Levy.
I preferred home health care. You're in preferred company.
We are back, Joel and myself with Preferred Company, and with us Sue Sedivec, CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters, along with Jen Barna. Jen Barna. Jen, what is your title?
I am the Fund Development Director.
Okay.
So I am in charge of raising the funds, fundraising, and all that good stuff that keeps all these amazing programs that Sue has been talking about going.
All right, so let's get to some fundraising. You need money.
Yes, we always do, like many other nonprofits out there. We don't get state or federal grants, so it is on us to raise the money through private grants, through fundraising, through donors.
Okay, and what exactly does the money go towards?
The money goes towards, I guess, the programs, putting all the pieces in place to help support the littles. It goes towards our professional case managers that watch over the safety of the children, that make the magic of the matches happen. It goes towards the littles in our school-based programs, buying all the materials that are needed, from the nutritional snacks, as many of them go home after school and don't have another meal.
Right.
Goes towards the educational supplies, the games, so any of those aspects.
Okay, Joel?
Yes, I have a question for Sue. Sue being the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Sue, what is the oldest? I'm talking about the adult. Do you have an age limit? So can a 75-year-old man be a big brother?
Yes, they can. We have several older mentors, and many times our children need some type of a grandfather figure. They don't have that in their life. And so what we look at is what the needs are of that child, and what type of mentor we can match them with. And so we do have several older mentors who are just incredible because their life experiences to share with that little, and their patience and their time has made such a difference in their life.
All right.
Now,
I was going to just ask a question. It went out of my head. Go ahead.
all right, no. Most of the audience knows, Sue and Jen know, that I'm president of Preferred Home Healthcare and Nursing Services. And what I see behind the scenes is that one of the biggest, I learned this before I went into home healthcare by doing my homework. The biggest challenge in home healthcare is matching personality to personality. If we're taking care of your mother, if we're taking care of your child, we want to make sure that your family is happy with the people that we are sending out. And it's like dating. chemistry is so important. How often do you have situations where the mentor and the recipient of your services are just not a fit?
Well, we take pride in our matches.
Wait, you have to you have to start out by saying, Joel, that's an excellent question.
Okay, Joel, that was really an excellent question. And I have that
There you
answer
go.
for you.
Okay, great. And when are you coming back? Okay,
Let her answer
go
the
ahead.
question first. Go ahead, Sue.
The key in the success of our matching is in the match, and you're absolutely right. And that's why we have our case managers. When they get done interviewing that child and parent, they really, really know what that child's strengths are, the needs, the challenges. When they get done interviewing mentors, we look to see what mentor best fits that child's match. I would rather not match a child if it wasn't a good match, because you could do more damage to kids.
All right, I got a question. What's your longest match that you've had?
9 years.
9 years. How old was the child at the time?
And they're still going.
They're still
They're
going.
still going.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
9 years and counting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because I've always thought sometimes a child could be hurt if the mentor just stops, and then they got to be connected with someone else. And it hurts their pride. It hurts their self-esteem even more because they're saying, well, what did I do wrong? Why doesn't this person want me anymore?
Absolutely. And then they're going to say, are you going to leave me too like everybody else?
Right.
And that's why with our mentors, we ask them that they have to make this commitment. You can't just be in a child's life and out, because it does such damage. And what we find is, even though some of our kids have aged out, the mentor and the little are still friends. One of our little sisters got married, and her big sister was in the wedding.
Oh, wow.
So you're starting to see, we've only opened our doors to matches since 2001. But now we're starting to see how they're continuing their relationships, how our littles are becoming big. And something else, Joel, I wanted to share with you, the success of our matches. Every single child who's been matched with a mentor who is aged out at 18, has graduated high school and has gone to either a college
Wow.
or a vocational
Wow.
school. So our educational success is significant in kids' lives, absolutely significant. Another thing, too, is all of the kids who have aged out of our program, not one of them have entered into a juvenile justice system.
Wow, that's great.
So we know mentoring works. Our goals work. Putting a mentor, a caring person in that child's life really, really helps them.
How about a big with the parent of the little? Like, do they, obviously they meet, okay? So when a big comes in for a little, and obviously the little has one parent, does the big meet the parent?
Absolutely.
And what if the parent doesn't like the big?
What we do is we do all that. It's called pre-matching. And so
Okay.
prior to introducing that mentor to the child, we
Okay.
sit down with the parent or guardian. We talk about the qualities and traits that mentor has and why that mentor would have an impact in their child's life. And then what we do is we have a match meeting where they all get to meet each other, and they sign contracts. It's a real contract. You have to sign a contract to talk about what your role is as a parent guardian, what your role is as a mentor, what role the little has. And so we try to keep all those roles above board.
Okay, I never realized how much was involved.
How often do the big and little meet?
We ask them to start off by seeing that together twice a month, and then on the alternating week to communicate with them, not texting, phone, talking.
Actual call
actually,
on the phone?
yeah.
And voice?
You got it. And so because a lot of times our kids come to us and they don't trust, and so we need to help them to begin to trust people, because they're shielded. Are you going to be another person in and out of their life? Are you going to do something? And so what they do is we gradually build up the time that we're with them together, and they usually spend an afternoon with them, a day with them, and they just do great things.
All right. I sometimes, Marianne knows this about me, sometimes I lean towards the left and sometimes I lean towards the right. Do you ever allow for people who have had issues, adults who have had issues, to be mentors?
What are you saying as an issue, Joel?
Okay.
Define an issue.
for instance, if somebody comes forward to say that they are fighting alcoholism and they have had a problem their lives, they've been clean for, whether it be drugs, alcohol, they've been clean for 2 or 3 years, and this is something that they need for themselves. Okay, this is something that could benefit everybody. Is there such a thing as breaking that kind of barrier, or are you not agreeable to that?
I think there's two answers to the question. One is for that person who's coming in, it's not about them, it's about the child. And so when you come in to want to become a mentor, you want to do it because you want to help a child's life. It's not about making you feel better. That's number one. Number two, maybe that type of a volunteer.
Let me stop you there. I don't mean to be difficult, but when you embark upon something like that, aren't you always doing it for yourself in some way, that you want to enrich your own life, that you want to feel better about yourself? It has to be a two-way street. When we do things like this, we always think about ourselves. Hey, this will make me happy, or this will enrich my life. It's never just about. It can't just be about the child, because you have an adult who's involved.
Yes.
Am I getting to?
Yes and no. I think
go
that
on.
I think that when you go into a relationship with a child, that child should be your priority piece. It's not. It's what can you do to help that child? What can you do to change that child's life?
Mm-hmm.
The other flip side of it is our mentors will always tell us, I think I get more of it out of than my little, because my little is just an amazing person. But I mean, obviously people do what drives people to do things is such a personal part. So I just always look at what's your rationale for doing this, and can you make that child the most important thing right now?
Now, is there going to be a time, or maybe you've already started this, where a woman can mentor a young man?
We have couples matching, where the husband and wife can match, will be matched with a child, and it all depends upon what the need of that child is. We do not cross-gender match.
Okay. I suppose that there's danger in doing that, and maybe, it's good that I'm not president of the organization, but I do believe that, I'd like to think that let me give you an example.
I know what you're going to say.
Marianne would be a wonderful mentor to an adolescent boy. She would be. I know this woman. I trust everything about her. I would
going to make
let
me
her
cry
take.
again. Go ahead.
No, perfect example of the person that I sit across from in this studio all the time, somebody that I've gotten to know intimately. I couldn't think of a better mentor, male or female, for an adolescent boy than Marianne Levy. Can the organization reach, and I understand that you're CEO of a chapter, is that what you refer to yourselves as?
An affiliate, yeah.
Right, so you're working under the guidelines of a much larger organization. But think about it. Marianne being able to take a 14, 15, 16-year-old boy and mold that person into a healthier human being. Why not?
I think a lot has to do with what that child wants at that point in time. Does that child want a female mentor in their life? Would they rather have a male role model?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the question is, would you allow for it?
It's not likely that we would do that.
Okay. Oh, you know what, Joel? To play
I'm
devil's
listening.
advocate, I guess you could say devil's advocate.
Yes.
That child probably already has the mother role. So if I was to go say, a little boy, more than likely he has a mother role. He needs that father role. So I understand where they're coming from there.
Well, not
Right?
necessarily. I mean, first of all, even if they do have a mother in their lives, there are a lot of women who would make better mentors to boys than men would. Just because it seems so obvious that a man will take a boy to a game, a man will go out onto the soccer field with a boy, but what can I say? For a change, I love my idea.
I like your idea too, and I'm all for it. And I agree with you. So
Well,
fundraising.
We do have a few events coming up that we are really excited about. Currently, we are participating in the Ocean First Charity Challenge. If you go to crowdrise.com/BBBS Ocean County, we are raising money. We're asking for just a $10 donation to raise money for our school-based program, for the nutritional snacks, the educational games for our littles. And going back to Mother's Day before, how great to make a donation in honor of a mother to help these children. So you can donate right online, crowdrise.com/BBBS Ocean County. Also coming up Sunday, May 31st, James and Dana Costello from Ohana Grill have graciously agreed to do a fundraiser for us. It's a 5-course wine and food pairing at their restaurant in Lavalette. Tickets are $75 plus tax, and it begins at 5 p.m., and the food there is delicious. Every course is paired with wines. They're doing Napa Cellars, and they always have a representative there to talk about the wines and what makes them special and why they go so great with the food. So anyone that's interested in purchasing tickets can always call the restaurant, 732-830-4040. And
Ladies, go on, please. I'm sorry.
And then Friday, June 5th, we have our company bowl. Earlier in the year, we have our National Bowl for Kids' Sake program, and this is an offshoot of it. This is for companies to get together, to put together a bowling team, to come out. We used to call it the battle of the architects, engineers, builders, banks, businesses. But get together your company, a group of friends, and come out and bowl. It's at the Lakewood Bowl and Recreation Center and begins at 6:30 p.m. We have prizes for all the teams. And, of course, all of the money raised through both of these fundraisers comes right back to Big Brothers Big Sisters to help us with all these programs and helping to match these littles and make a difference in their lives.
So you got a
Perfect.
lot going on.
We
Yes,
do.
We're busy.
I see that.
And we need contact information once again.
Yes, our website where all of the information is up is www.bbbsoc.org. And you can also call our office, 732-505-3400. And we're also on Facebook.
Wonderful. Great organization, great interview, ladies. Thank you for being here today. I just have to tell you that this organization is a favorite of mine, so I truly appreciate you being with us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Jill. Good to be back with
You're
you.
welcome back anytime. You know that. This store's always open. So the studio's always open to you guys. So if you ever need anything, spur of the moment, don't hesitate to ask. You know how to get in touch with me.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Marianne.
And we'll be back over at the beach in the summer.
I'll be looking for you.
Joel, I got word yesterday. We're going to be back at the beach in July.
On Thursdays?
On Thursdays, yes.
Cool.
Yep.
I'll
That's
join you
always
there
fun.
for some sunrises.
You got it. The only thing I asked for was a bathroom.
I will make it happen. You know that.
Marianne, I just want to take this because this is the last preferred company for the week.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I wish all of our listeners a happy Mother's Day. You know how much the listeners mean to me.
I know.
And as they do to you, and those people that we've met, those people that we haven't met, those people who don't have children, I want to wish every single woman out there a happy Mother's Day. Stay safe. And again, if you meet a nurse or a home health aide today, today, right,
yeah.
Marianne?
Yeah, today.
Okay.
Tell them
please.
thank you.
Yes, please say thank you from Joel and Marianne. We'll be back with more Preferred Company next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Preferred Company. For more information or to inquire about the services offered by Preferred Home Healthcare and Nursing, call 1-800-603-CARE.
1-800-603-CARE.
That's 1-800-603-2273 or visit preferredcares.com. Friend Preferred Home Healthcare and Nursing Services on Facebook and follow them on Twitter.